Here it is, the first prototype A12, probably one of the only 1,000-watt titanium bikes that exists. This is still what I would consider a prototype stage bike. There are some changes that are definitely going to happen, but this is the basic concept. Now, I'm sure the first question people are going to ask is, when can we get it and how much is it going to cost? I know for sure that these titanium frames are about 6 months out. So here we are at the beginning of August. So we're looking at February just to get the frames in the hands of our assemblers overseas. Best case scenario is going to be early spring of 2022. As far as the cost goes, this is going to be the most expensive Bolton e-bike by far. There's no denying it. I actually wanted to introduce this bike under $5,000 because I think a fat tire titanium 1,000-watt bike with a big battery, really awesome brakes, but that was before all of these supply chain issues, and it really just isn't possible to do that anymore. Prices have gone up. The frame and fork alone cost more than the entire Blackbird. Ballpark price, retail, probably going to be somewhere around $6,000 to $6,500. It is, however, a very nicely made, beautiful frame. In case you don't remember, or if you hadn't seen previous videos where I talked about the A12 from Bolton e-bikes, the reason I wanted to do a titanium bike, one, no other major e-bike company has done it, and I always like to do things no one else has done. Number two, the SR-71 aircraft is made from titanium, and the A12, which was an early CIA version, had a bare titanium finish. And reason number three is that I had a lot of people ask for a bike like the Blackbird. They said, we want a really nice suspension, we want tubeless ready tires, we want a decent sized battery, we want everything that the Blackbird has, except we want a mid-drive motor. So I decided that this was a great way to make that bike happen, as inventory globally is really tight for brakes and shifters and everything else. I thought it was a good idea to maximize the inventory that we can get on something really cool. I want to point out some of the obvious things that are not going to go into production on this bike. Number one being this cheap, ugly kickstand. We were able to get a sample of a titanium fork from the frame manufacturer, but a titanium fork was never the plan for the bike. I always wanted to put on a high quality suspension fork. Depending on availability, lead times, we're either going to go with one of the new inverted forks that we've been working on that we're going to use on the Blackbird, or we may go with a name brand fork, something like the RockShox Bluto. So we have a couple of options that we haven't quite decided on. The brakes on the prototype are the Tektro Dorado 4-piston. That's what we're using on the Blackbird. There's a chance those might change because getting these is particularly difficult right now. But whatever it is, it's going to be something that's either equal to or better than these brakes. We'll definitely be sticking with 203mm rotors. I'm curious to see what you guys think of these rims. It was actually pretty hard to get this color made, but these are the same rims that are tubeless ready that are found on the Blackbird, but instead of the straight black, something to kind of pop next to this titanium frame. Currently I have a Blackbird battery sitting on here, which is perfect because it already has the SR-71/A12 symbol on the battery. One thing I'd like to do is make this bigger. There is a chance, I'm not promising anything, but there's a chance we might be able to make a similar case like this with a 21 amp hour battery. I think that would be a better option. Let me know what you think. Would you rather have a 16 amp hour and go a little bit lighter, or would you rather just go big or go home and go up to a 21 amp hour battery? Tires are always up for debate. These ones are pretty big and beefy and aggressive. I personally kind of like the look. It gives this bike just the indestructible, tough feel, which is what we want. We want basically a bike that's going to last forever. As far as the shifting goes on the prototype, we have an 11-speed SRAM setup. That's also subject to change. I would really like to see if we could fit on like a SRAM Eagle 1x12 or something. 12 goes with the A12 name. It's gonna depend on availability, what we can do. Some of these cool details you can see, I'll get in close here, you know, how this mounts with the titanium frame, the derailleur hanger and everything. It's just awesome. I just love all the little details, even down to how these clips are color matched to the frame. And again, this is not painted. This is a bare finish, which I think looks really good. The 1000 watt Bafang motor is definitely staying. That is gonna be the motor of choice for this bike. We want the most power we can get. We want the torque sensing. I think that's gonna be the best thing for the job. So the frame is titanium. The fork will be a suspension fork, but that's not where the titanium stops. The seat clamp is titanium. The seat post is titanium. You can even see a little bit of a taper to the seat post. No, it's not gonna be a quick release because you don't want somebody stealing your $100+ seat post. The spacers on the headset are titanium. The stem is, you guessed it, titanium. And finally, the handlebars are again titanium. We were also testing out different color combinations of head badges, so it may or may not be something like this. We might change that up a little bit. I really like how the front of the stem looks on this particular bike. I hope that doesn't change in production because that looks awesome. Through axles, both front and rear. So once again, going for durability, longevity, we want something that's basically gonna be as bulletproof as possible and gonna last you forever. Which, in case you're wondering, in my opinion, is a perfect reason to go with a somewhat generic style battery cradle. Definitely this frame is going to outlast any batteries. I think the next thing to do is a separate video on riding the bike, showing how it handles, how it rides, going into weight, all those kinds of things. I'm not quite ready for that. I need to swap out the front fork. I have a RockShox Bluto here to test. I have some inverted forks here to test. So we're probably gonna try a couple different ones, see which one looks the best, performs the best, and we can actually get. Let me know what your thoughts are. Are we missing anything? Should we have changed anything? There's still time to make some small tweaks or improvements to the bike. There are already some small things that I know I wanna have changed for the production model. But if you imagine this with a suspension fork, that's roughly the idea, that's roughly how it's going to move forward. Personally, I am really excited to get that fork on there, go take it on some trails, do some more videos with it, and get the word out. Thanks to all of you for being members of the Bolton e-Bikes channel. I appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to reading every single one of your comments below.